Hello there, Peter. My name's Andrew, and I'm the essay corrector here at IELTSpodcast.com. Well done for coming this far in the course, and thanks for submitting your first essays. Each time you make a submission to me, I'll be reading through it sentence by sentence and offering you some grammatical corrections, as well as pointing you in the right direction in terms of structure and format. The most effective way to use these corrections is to correct your own work using this video. In this way, you'll be able to spot your own mistakes and hopefully stop making them as the course progresses. So let's begin with your introduction and see if we can make any improvements. So first of all, I would say it's throughout history, schools have been either, let's say the primary source of wisdom and education. The ultimate source, it just seems a bit much, seems a bit strong. We don't need modern schools today because they both kind of mean the same thing. So we can just say modern schools have proved, or schools today have proved, and it should be proven really, or proven, sorry, that students can benefit greatly from entertaining activities, let's say, as part of the education process. This essay will show how playing computer games and participating in other enjoyable activities during study can lead to better academic results. Firstly, playing games in the education process has a profound effect on pupils, and then we're having an aside, has a profound effect on pupils, especially in primary schools. I would say here, this is largely due to the fact that students love playing games, and this is not all students, so let's not generalize. Let's say the majority of students love playing games, and by doing so, classes become more enjoyable. Here we can just say, leading to improved motivation and engagement of the students. Great, I love the word engagement in these essays. Very good use. Our recent study by the French government, our recent study has shown, no need for the comma, that a group of pupils that studied, I don't think we need this bit. A group of pupils that studied by playing computer games were 20% more successful in which tests? Let's say psychometric tests. And here we should be specific and say that they performed 20%. They performed 20% better in psychometric tests than a group that studied by conventional methods. Good. Therefore, comma, schools should strive to incorporate as much, let's say as many engaging and playful activities as possible into their classes. Your writing is quite smooth, but it just needs a few extra academic words, a bit more precision, and we need to do a little bit of work on articles. But that really is, so far, all I can tell from your work that needs improvement. I think actually it should be fairly easy for you to score above a 7 in the IELTS exam as long as you pay attention. Secondly, entertaining activities stimulate the brain to store Okay, so I agree with this paragraph, but it's quite a complex example, and we're going to have to edit it quite significantly to make it make sense, but I'm going to do my best. So, entertaining activities assist the brain in storing more complex information with additional context which creates a flexible memory map. I have a problem with this because this needs to be defined. I understand what it means, but not everybody will. And in writing, we have to assume that our reader knows nothing about what we're talking about. So here, this helps to retrieve memory, let's say faster and more effectively. We need an explanation here, as the information is connected. Actually, let's be really fancy. It's neurally connected I want to say it's more complex. In a more complex fashion. And then here, scientists from Harvard University have recently published a study that showed that more associations are made to the subject studied, I would say. Come on. Okay, fine. So the subject studied. So when the student is actively learning. So a study that showed that more associations are made let's say cognitive. More cognitive associations are made to the subject studied when the student is actively learning, and more durable information is therefore written into students' memory. Consequently, enjoyable activities play a vital role in the this is incredibly ironic. I've forgotten the word for recall. In the recall abilities of young learners. Now we have a fantastic paragraph. To conclude, comma, from the examples and arguments given, I firmly agree that schools should not only be educational but also entertaining for the benefit of their students. Based on these findings, comma, in future, comma, based on these findings, in future, more and more schools, let's make this a bit more, an increasing number of schools will change their classes to be more enjoyable and entertaining. Cool, so we've used entertaining there. So let's make this engaging again. Remember, try your best not to repeat yourself in a paragraph. So if you find yourself using the same word in a paragraph, just think of something different. So with this one, I'll move a little bit faster so we can get your brain in shape. So reading, let's start with this. Despite how pleasurable reading can be, it is not the only way. It is not the only way to obtain information and develop skills. For some children, reading alone we here could say some children could be bored by reading alone and prefer other activities. This is nothing to be concerned about. In fact, For children, enjoyable activities can be beneficial for the development of their skills and creativity. Cool. Firstly, whilst doing enjoyable activities such as sports, music and art, children have the opportunity to practice more skills at once and to respond to multiple stimuli. Great. And well done for getting the British English spelling of practice. The number of people that spell this with a C here, it really winds me up, being a British person and all. So we could say here, young people can develop social skills such as cooperation. Let's say cooperation and communication. As well as physical skills by training their bodies, perseverance by focusing on their goal, and imagination and creativity by expressing themselves. Really good set of examples there. Really nice. Our recent study by Harvard University has shown that children that pursued various enjoyable activities during their childhood were more likely. Remember, if we're talking about a study, it has definitely happened in the past. So we can conclude what happened. Children who did do this were more likely to. Were more likely to become open-minded, creative, and detail-oriented. Let's do this. Detail-oriented, skilled individuals. In fact, just that is fine. Open-minded, creative, and detail-orientated. It's really, the English should be this. Although Word doesn't like it. In British English we would use orientated, but I'll allow this for now because Microsoft Word, actually Google Documents, has an American bias. Open-minded, creative, and detail-oriented skilled adults. That's what's troubling me about this. There. Open-minded, creative, detail-oriented, and skilled adults. Therefore, spending time with children doing enjoyable activities is, let's say, rather important for the development and future growth. Secondly, hands-on experience is more valuable than studying. Let's say hands-on experience is more valuable than acquiring knowledge solely by reading. This is because reading is a passive activity whereas let's try to eliminate these really simple words like do and get. Do, get, let. They're quite ambiguous and it's good to be precise. So whereas performing hands-on activities forces them to not only learn and discover, but also actively participate. I think this feels like it needs more. Let's say, whereas performing hands-on activities forces them to learn and discover by actively participating, and by doing so, gain practical skills. Good. For example, employment agencies have shown great preference for people let's rearrange these. Let's show the most important one first. With practical knowledge and experience, as well as academic credentials. Employment agencies have shown great preference for people with practical knowledge and experience as well as academic credentials when recruiting for higher level positions. Thus, focusing on practical, enjoyable activities with children can develop habits and experience that are... I don't like very, it's too simple. So we could say extremely. Extremely valuable for their future life. To conclude, I firmly agree that enjoyable activities with children have more potential to develop better skills and creativity than reading alone. Furthermore, the job market indicates that people with practical skills and experience will always be in demand. What I love about your work is that it's already super consistent. Your thesis statement highlights your ideas, you discuss them in depth, and then you summarize them at the end. You are clearly following the guidance from the course, and in your first pieces, that's fantastic. So very, very well done. I'll send this over to you now. I'll look forward to your next essays, Peter, but until then, have a great day. Goodbye for now.